So the official side of the energy field chargers are, yes, we are working with wonderful quantum fields. And what you can do with them is, or let's say what is extraordinary with them, is that you can use them for many, many more things. We are still discovering their advantages or their specialities. I have wonderful results. I'm one of those people who are quite sensitive to any kinds of electronic smog. So what I did is I put it on my smartphone in the back. And yes, it's really a difference. And in general, I try to avoid to have long talks with my iPhone, because it's like a buzzing in my head afterwards. But with the energy charter, it's really fine. Still, I wouldn't have long talks with it, but my head is really, really fine and still in harmony, I could say. So the official side of the energy charges is you should stick them on the wall, different corners of the wall. What do? They talk to each other. So quite fast, they are really creating an own energy field, which is talking back and forth. So I would suggest normally, so if you are so lucky sometime that you can buy them, they come like that in this box, and they are 12. So you have quite a lot of charges to deal with. So maybe the room where you're sleeping, or your living room, whatever you want to do, it's very fine to have them. And what they are doing is they are not only harmonizing the room, but it's a very wonderful clearing energy. So it's not, maybe if you are sensitive to energy, you might come into your own living room. You come from outside, you come back from wherever you were, and you find that the energy is somehow a bit sticky or smoggy. It's like a feeling. And when you have the energy charges, they're definitely doing their work. So the energy stays very clear and fine. But now we come to the most wonderful things what you can do. I would call it the magic side. When you have them sticking on the walls, so you need the four corners. They don't have to be in symmetry, but like spread in the room on the walls. You can start to give them orders. So you can tell them, and we'll do it in some minutes together. You can program them to create a very harmonious atmosphere, or you want to have a very clear, straightforward energy, and you can play with it. So you, for example, you impregnate them with, I want to have now wonderful flower smell in the room. Please give them a bit of time. And what is important, that you have your intention. And of course, as always, you have your concentration. So when you say, I want to have now a sandalwood smell, like an incense sandalwood, you concentrate first of all yourself on the sandalwood. So you create your memory of the smell. And of course, we know that the smells are very strong inputs of your brain and of your memory. And then you tell the four corners, okay, now work on it. That's very, very cute. And maybe you do it before you get you have an invitation, you get any guests or something. And when they're coming from outside, they will look around, where's the incense? It's really nice. And of course, it can be any odor you want to have in your room. I also appreciate the fresh smells like orange or lemon smells. So this is one of the things. Then, of course, you can create atmospheres. What I do when I have, for example, guests, I create atmospheres. I put in the program of we're having a lot of fun. It's a very inspiring invitation or getting together. Oh, the food I was cooking, it's really, really nice for everyone. So things like that, play with it around. And then the next thing is you can be inspired with only one. So I really work a lot with only one of the chargers. I don't glue it anywhere, so I have it with me. For example, before I start a seminar, I have it in front of my computer. And let's say maybe 10 minutes before I start the seminar, I just go into the energy of the charger. We will do this in some minutes together. So you can really, really feel it, and you can also sense how wonderfully, really quite like the pendant, it's spreading its energy. So let's not forget that it's in the same way programmed as the pendants are, which means it's changing all the time. It depends who's working with it, how much they are really uploading the pendants or the charges, and they definitely talk to each other. This is something I very often play with groups, those who have the charger already, or those who don't have it, but before we start, they all tune into it. And I can also, in case you're giving seminars, that's now very beautiful, if you are healing your patients, if you're giving out the quantum touch healing life force energy, and if you're working with groups. So this is something I get more and more used to, that I do the healings for whole groups, also for huge groups all over the world. It's wonderful. And it's so easy if you show them the charger, and it's like you are traveling deep inside the center of the charger. I will give you also a small technique, how you can concentrate and develop a sense of traveling into something, which means traveling into something means deliberately you go into the essence of, for example, the healing energy for everyone who is participating. And of course, as we know in Quantum Touch, we just leave the whole thing open. We are not too differentiated what we want, except, of course, we can, for example, work with groups, all those people who are into your healing session, for example, need a correction of their spine. And then again, you give the mandate to the charger, equivalent to the pendant. So this is a lot of fun, and we can demonstrate it pretty soon. So another way of getting close to your charger is you can do it, you can use it for your self-healing without having much in mind. Which means, for example, I lay down or I sit down and I place it, I look at it like that, so it's facing to me. And as I said, we will do it together. I travel into the center of it, and I open myself up. which means I open my whole aura really up for send me the energy I need, which means I don't take care of any whatever disharmonies, pains, whatever, but I let the charger or the quantum touch energy decide where it wants to go. And this is very, very, very interesting. Very often it goes to places where I'm not aware of, but as soon as it starts to work, every time I think, what a good idea. Really, really amazing. So this is something where you can work with in kind of entrainment, tune into it, let yourself tune into the field of quantum touch. And the more you are aware, the more you set the intention, I want to be part of the whole quantum touch field, you are, and you feel it and you sense it. So keep in mind that wherever people are in the world who are using quantum touch and who are doing it now deliberately and on purpose, it's wonderful. Because I also often, when I think about the quantum touch field, I remember that quantum touch as such exists then more than 20 years all over the world. We are now in more than 50 countries of the world. So many patients, many instructors, many experiences, healing experiences. And this is a field which is just there. It's there to be used and it's there to jump right into it. So this is of course true for all quantum fields. So that's really very, very good for enhancing everything you want. So the next thing is, let's say you have a project in mind. This might be, I definitely want to earn more money. I want to have an income which is an open income. I don't have to know yet where it's coming from, but I see the results. So for example, I see my bank account. And a wonderful way is if you see your one bank account and it shows this and this sum and you know it's just not enough, why don't you make whatever a number in front of the sum which is showing? So make a 1 or 2 in front, or make a 0 behind, so you have another number. And what I find very good and relaxing is, don't go too much into the sum and whoa, and what can I do? What will change with the sum? So keep it very neutral. In general, money is very neutral in general. So it's just numbers and it's a symbol. So we can exchange a lot of things. It's much easier than to pay with muscles or whatever shells or whatever people had in the past. So work with the numbers, work with your bank account, and then you give the mandate to your chargers and say, okay, now I want you to enhance it. Just go into the result. And we all know it from the different seminars. It's very, very important only to take care of the result, not the process. Never work with the future. The future is now. And you see the numbers in your bank account now. And of course, okay. And of course, you can do it for any project. Let's come back to the Corona situation. So we can work, which we also will do together. We can start to work with ourselves, so we can train our charger to take care of our lungs. And I think it's very, very wonderful if, first of all, if you want to create something inside of your body, you start with your own experience, because you have to show and persuade your subconsciousness. Your subconsciousness is the part of us which is the creator, which is the realizator. So as soon as your subconsciousness believes you, it has to realize, it has to materialize what you are planning or what you're creating or want to create. So we use our body really as a wonderful instrument. We start with our body. And of course, whenever we do something, we do the quantum touch breathing. This is never without the body consciousness, the breathing, the way, the path the breath is taking. And we invite on purpose life force and really oxygen. So we breathe a lot because our body, also our brain, needs a lot of pure oxygen. And of course, also the movement. What Tyler does a lot in these seminars, he uses a lot of the fire breath. And in fire breath, you can do a lot of variations. Please play with fire breath. You learned in your seminars 1 or 2 kinds of fire breath, but there's so much to discover how you can do fire breath. So first of all, you can integrate the fire breath as an enhancer, instant enhancer in your daily life. And I would suggest, and this is also leading, of course, to the charges, to our main subject, and just the same with the pendants. Think of the fire breath as the very fast reaction to any problem you have, to any mood, which is your feelings are just going down in the cellar, whatever you think or just experienced, whatever it is. You say, okay, you notice. First of all, you have to notice, you have to be conscious of it. And then you do a fire breath. So you bring the movement into your aura, really deep inside, of course, also beginning with the body. And you use, for example, you combine the fire breath with a spiral breathing. The spiral in general is a very, very old symbol. All cultures use the spiral as something absolutely holy. It means evolution. It means movement. It means you go out of a, let's say, somehow stuck situation, and you say, okay, now you turn. And then you have the difference between the turning right from your view. Turning right means it goes out, and also it can go up. And the left spiral from your point of view is going down, it's going inside. And also you can take the left spiral to take something out of your system, wherever it is. And of course, you can also do the movement with your hand. It's wonderful. And there I would suggest that you take your left hand and straight down to, it shows down to the earth. So it's an earthing link, what you're doing with Mother Earth. And the right hand is the hand which is working, which is doing the movement that way or that way, wherever you want. So, for example, very interesting, again, I use the charger also with these, maybe I put it like that, a bit bigger. I use it, for example, if I want to work on my character, if I want to have a special skill I want to develop. This might be a wonderful way of being or coming back into peace. Or I need courage, or I need very special skills for healing. I want to be a specialist in correcting spines and very fast and very beautiful. And I want to send out just luck to the people, just happiness and luck. Wherever I put my attention to, the luck is going to the people. And I leave it open, luck and happiness, being lucky and happiness. What it means for them, it's not my business, but I want to spread out these skills. This also, you can take your charger and tell it. So we will concentrate pretty soon on it, and I show you how to do it. It's just one of the many, many ways you can concentrate on it. Just tell the charger what you want. And then you have the feeling and you have the intention. And of course, one of the most important ways is if you do it in combination with your heart essence. So I make a difference, as we do in L2 teachings. We have in L1, we have the wonderful what you love most technique, which is in itself a joker, and it's really, really precious. But when we are when we are combining it with love, essence, love, memories, you think about someone, something which you love most, and then you get the whole feeling, and then you are entering this very special energy. This is one way of working with the heart energy, but you can do it in a different way. So we are dealing now with the different fields and frequencies. You can also touch now the energy which is specially for you, the highest energy you can think of. So it depends on your religion, or if you say, I'm out of any religions, then you can, whatever, you can think of the sun, something which is really, really, or the sky. I used to, when it's daylight and it's a wonderful, just open blue sky, I use this a lot as a symbol for infinity. And these are all qualities we have built in. So as soon as you work with your heart energy, for example, showing the infinity, this is still another quality you are entering in. And then you are having your dialogue with your charger, and you have this wonderful feeling of the blue sky. The sky is so wonderful because it has no beginning and no ending. So this is infinity. And then you tell the charger, okay, I want you to spread it now to the world. This wonderful, wonderful openness. No ending, no beginning. It just is. And what we are training more and more, because it has so much to do with the time quality, is the human being and not the human acting. So being in the presence, being in the very right moment, this is all we need, because in this very special moment, everything is involved, what we need and what we are, without, or let's say beyond our understanding from our thinking mind. So we can work with, coming back to our situation, Corona situation, of course we can work with cells, very, very special cells. So what we need now is a very beautiful immune system. And I'm not only dealing now with the wonderful, strong immune system working, functioning very fine and precise. What we can do, and we should do it every day, and especially in the morning before we are opening our eyes, we can work with the new neurons, the new cells in our brain, because they are still very, very young. And this is our time. So I take more than half an hour, very often 1 hour, just with a deep, deep breathing and talking to the new cells I have. I tell them what I want. And now we know from many, many researchers that our thoughts, in combination with our feelings, in combination with the images we create, are extremely strong, and also very, very strong for our subconsciousness. So what I do is I have my eyes on one of the chargers I have in front of me when I still lay in bed. Then I close my eyes and I talk to the cells and I tell them to be just happy. Happiness is a very strong frequency. And then I link them to my heart. So the essence of my heart. And there is infinity. And there's just this glorious energy, which probably doesn't need any name at all. But it's the creation energy, the essence of creating. Maybe we call it the light, whatever, the light, where we are all coming from, or the source, or whatever. So I make the contact to the creation energy, the pure source energy. And then I imagine my cells. We have 50 trillion cells, and they are our own. And they are working the whole day, the whole night for us. So I talk to them and tell them, okay, there is this virus. You know it already in different forms. Don't be afraid. I want you to go into your essence, and your essence, like the biophotons, is light, pure light. Please remember, cells, you are pure light. And I want you now to switch on just like that. And instead of thinking about what could be with the virus and things like that, I tell them, we as a huge group, inside and outside, we are only concentrating on our light and our source energy, and we radiate. So the radiating of the very best for everyone and everything, I do a lot with the chargers. And because sometimes I have to show it again, because it is let's get the best. It is, if you look at it carefully, we have eight beams going from the center, and it's a hologram, so it's changing the pattern inside. But mostly you see these eight beams. So they are like a sun. Then I concentrate. So what I do, I switch the different frequencies and the different quantum fields. I go from inside, so the very tiniest part I can imagine inside of my body. I combine it with happiness. I combine it with the quantum touch fields. And then I combine it with all there is. If I use it for the earth itself, if it use it on everything which is on the earth, then I don't care about time limitations, so the whole existence, or if I use it for the whole universe, be very sure that universe is answering you. And we have a huge team always, if we see them on it or not, which are working with us. So if you just have to say to the universe, whoever's there who can support me, please go ahead. And then whatever you want to do with the virus or the vaccinations or whatever you can think of, go for it. And remember that there are many chargers and many, many more pendants used all the time. So it's a very intelligent field. I even do it when I go out. I have a dog, so I have to be very often out in the wonderful nature. And I do it, for example, with the raindrops. I charge the raindrops in my mind. I charge the wind. The shamans, is for them, it's very, very normal to work with the elements. So when the wind is blowing, and sometimes here it's very strong wind, really. I know from the shamanic work that the wind is used for clearing the mind. So the wind is in connection with the mind energy of all people all over. So it has a wonderful clearing energy. And the water, for example, it has to do with our feelings and also with the subconsciousness. The fire is the element, that's the element which is for sure, it only can go up, up, up. You will never find a fire which is going down. So it's up. And of course, it's a very strong and sometimes a fierce energy. So if you want to work with the elements, of course you can do. And you don't, it's wonderful if you have a mantra or whatever, but of course you can do it also just with your consciousness. We should not underestimate how strong the one human being is with our consciousness, our thoughts, feelings, emotions, pictures, our capability to project something into the world. Okay, let's come back to the healing mode of the charges, what you can do for yourself and for the others. First of all, I would like to give you a technique, a wonderful technique which you can do a lot of times during the day, and you can also fall asleep with this very beautiful technique. So what we can, it's called trust technique. You can find it in the internet. It has a background, a Buddhist background, which is for the technique itself, it's not so important. It reminds, for those of you who are familiar with these techniques, it's a kind of a Zen technique. What is it for? The researchers know now, since a bit more than 10 years, how powerful our thoughts are. And they are not so sure how many thoughts we have every day. It's between 10,000 and 60,000 thoughts, and these are programs. And they are enhanced because we are repeating all the programs. So there's a lot of projection. It's never the truth. There's a lot of identification, which is not good at all. It doesn't leave us as free human beings. So what can we do? It would be nice if we have a technique which is so strong that we can deliberately slow down the thoughts and enhance something else in our brain. And this something else is a sense or experience of stillness, of inner freedom, of peace. And then, of course, we can listen to ourselves. because when the mind chatter is going on all the time, it's very, very hard to be conscious and to listen to ourselves. So the deeper sides inside of ourselves, the intuition, the inspiration, the soul, the inner voices, and to open up our brain, our perception. Our perception is very limited. If we are not conscious of our mind chatter, and if we identify all the time with the mind chatter. So normally, if we are not taking care of all this, we are very convinced that what we think and what we feel is the reality. It's not. It's only thoughts and emotions and feelings. Feelings and thoughts are very close together, and it's a lot of projection programs. So we need something to deliberately, I wouldn't say stop it, but set it in a totally different environment and background, what we think and what we feel. So the technique. It's very interesting, the technique, or the one he's called James French, who became famous for this technique. He's an animal whisperer. He's just gorgeous in his work, and he works with all kinds of animals, and also really wild animals. They are all, most of them are traumatized in some ways, and he just does it with his wonderful technique. So what do we need for this trust technique? And of course, we can absolutely use it, and we need it for as human beings. Because when you think about yourself and your life, most of the times what we lack definitely is trust, because we had so many experiences, and then we don't trust anymore. It's hard for us to trust. So what we do now is we learn to trust ourselves and these wonderful sources we have inside. So how does it work? We need 4 different things, 4 ingredients. The first ingredients, what we do is we freeze our body. So we need, when we do it, by the way, we do this technique now for 10 seconds and then for 30 seconds, not longer, just to give you the experience and the idea how long we are working with it. And this is all very, very wonderful to do it before we do any healing work. So first of all, freeze your body. Your body has to be just straight, doesn't move at all. The second point, what we're doing is we are choosing a little spot in front of us, whatever it is. And our eyes are just concentrating on the spot. So you keep your eyes very straight. Because now your mind is doing something, your brain is doing something, it goes in a totally different mode, which you will feel now very instantaneously. You're going from your left brain, which is so agitated, thinking mind, to your right brain, which is the brain for the very, very good for any kind of energy work, meditation, opening your perception, because it really is the brain. These are the energies which are very interested in the whole. I want to perceive the whole. I want to perceive the waves instead of the particles. I want to perceive the colors, the beauty, the creative side, things like that, music, all this is right brain. So this is when we are keeping these 2 things so far, freezing the body, choose a spot, and your eyes are they don't move at all, one spot. Third thing we have to do, third task is you touch your body. So we are using at the same time body awareness. Whatever you do, you need the touch sense. And the fourth ingredient is you use your hearing, sense of hearing, whatever you hear. It doesn't matter what you hear. It doesn't matter where you touch. It's very, very skillful to use exactly these senses and put them all together in these four. And this is what we are doing now. And that's a very good training for example, what we are doing then after that, traveling inside of the energy of the charger. And then I show it again, and you can concentrate on the picture, or you can do it with closed eyes. So let's do the trust technique. First of all, you just please be aware of your body again. And it's very helpful, as we know it from Quantum Touch, you take your belly breathing. Why belly breathing? Because it's very beautiful for your body. It does much more than breathing up on the lungs, and you're much closer to yourself. It's going from wherever we are outside, it's coming back to your own center of the body. And then we do some quantum touch breathing. So you connect deliberately on life force energy, which is below your feet, not somewhere else. And when you concentrate below your feet, under your feet, wait till the energy arrives there. Wait till you find the first signal in the soles of your feet. And then you breathe in, and really inside of your body, deep inside, like bone marrow breathing, very much inside. Breathe up to your head, and then breathe out through your shoulders, arms, into your hands. Do a couple of breathings, whatever you take, 4 to 4, anything else. 2 to 6 is very, very nice also for doing this kind of meditation work. And all what is important, which counts now, is you yourself, you and your energy, you and your close friend, life force energy, pure life force energy. Best you breathe through your mouth. You want to move a lot of energy, and very essential energy, strong energy. You're taking in pure life, and then you tell the energy where it should go. Right. And now we go just straight into our body awareness and the energy awareness. Then we start the trust technique. You freeze your body doesn't move at all. You search for a spot right in front of you, and your eyes are tacked into the spot. You don't move your eyes anymore. Feel the touch of your body, maybe the fingers touching the tablecloth or whatever you have. Feel the touch. Eyes very calm, concentrated, and here. And now we start. I count the 10 seconds. Okay, we go out and just relax your eyes and follow the energy inside of your body. You are describing inside what is happening now. What is the change? How do I feel it? How does my head feel and my brain and my body? And you just breathe. You're just like a journalist. You describe inside of yourself what is happening now. You don't have to give it any words. You just realize. You just feel, notice. Notice what you notice. While you're doing that, you're opening your perception to waves of energy, not anymore to particles. It's more energy wise. We do it again, and we do it now for 30 seconds. Freeze your body. Choose a spot in front of you. Your eyes are just concentrated, very still, very stable. They don't move. Touch whatever you want to touch. Be aware of your touch sense. Hear whatever you hear. And off we go. Okay, and get out of this state and relax. Breathe and sense what you sense. Maybe you notice that you're definitely more inside. It's kind of a stillness, which is where you are participating now. It's quite fast if you do it a bit more often, that you have the feeling, when I am in this state, everything is just fine. I don't have to change anything. I just have to be in this state. And what you're doing when you're in this state, that you are radiating this peaceful energy where everything is just that it is. And this is how James Friend is doing all these wonderful healings with these animals. You have beautiful videos on YouTube seeing him doing his work, and all these many horses are just going fall asleep. Everything is so still and just peaceful and so wonderful. And when you do it more often, you sense that this is pure healing energy. Healing can take place when we are in such a beautiful way centered. And now we go into the charger work. So what we do, just right for your eyes, concentrate in this mood you are now on the center of the charger. Notice the beams, the radiations, and breathe in and out with its energy. This is the purest and nicest quantum touch energy you can imagine. And if you want, you open yourself up, really also your subtle bodies, for this energy. It's taking care of itself. And then you can tell this energy, go where I need you. So you don't have any opinion, just let it do its work. And keep breathing and sweeping. And you just notice. And I want you to show how it is when we together direct the energy now. I suggest that we all, first of all, concentrate on our solar plexus. We breathe in and out with this energy in our solar plexus. Why solar plexus? It has to do with our personal power. The solar plexus is from deep inside a true sun. It can radiate like the sun, the light, the warmth, and the divine order. The divine order is one of the wonderful 12 magic spots in our body. The divine order is concentrated in our navel. So navel and a bit more up in the solar plexus, there's a lot of power. And we just have to say, yes, I agree to this power. And the power is radiating also in the back, in our kidneys and the adrenals on top of the kidneys. And the solar plexus is also dealing with our stomach and the pancreas, and right side liver and gallbladder, and left side the spleen. So it has a lot to do with many inner organs, and they all are now cleansed and radiate to the top of their possibilities. And instead of being irritated, whatever's going on inside of us or outside of us, we just switch on the sun, this inner sun, and tell it to radiate. And whatever you feel now, you can tell your body, okay, this is now programmed. So I can come back to this experience whenever I want. So when you go to the experience of the trust technique, the stillness, or remember the radiating of your solar plexus, its sun quality, you just switch it on with one thought, one little mandate. And then we go to our heart. And we ask the charger to open up our heart as much as it is possible and good for us right now. Which means it's the heart field, and this heart field is 5,000 times stronger than anything else in our body, electromagnetic field. And if you want, you can say yes to this strong energy field. This is beyond personal love. It's stronger and wider. It's infinite. And you tell the charger, switch it on now. Radiate. And in your mind, you can now, because most of you won't have the charger yet, create a mental charger. So you make a copy of it in your mind. And then you do the charger work till you have one physically. And now, the last thing we do, we radiate this wonderful sun power and heart power to all the pendants and all the chargers which are existing, to all those who possess them and will possess them, as a huge bliss. And of course, to all those who are open to it and who need it and will need this bliss energy. Right. Okay. So we close the seminar. Is there anything you want to ask or to comment or whatever? Or shall we just leave it like that because we are yeah, okay, Sonja.
I have a question. I would like to know, even if we don't talk to them or give them orders, if they would work and if they would raise our energy.
Yes, they do. Definitely. And I would also suggest that you have on the most important spots in your life, you have the charger. So I have one, for example, in my car. So all these spots where I'm very often, I have, of course, a charger. And I multiply them, and I tell them to go to the cars of my children, for example. Mm-hmm. And when I work with the charger, I activate these mental chargers in the cars of my children. So you can do a lot because, I mean, we are, first of all, we are spiritual beings. We can do all these things. Okay, another question. Now, Birgit, did you want to tell us something about your wonderful pendant work?
Well, I just have it always with me, and I'm always amazed of whatever happens. I remember the other day, a friend of mine, he came and he said, well, I've just been to the dentist and it hurts so much. And he said, I wish I could do something. So usually I just grin, and I went to my bag, and actually I have those coins, you know,
yes,
that they come with a portal, and yes. I had one in my bag and I gave it to him. I didn't say nothing. I just said, just hold it there. And yes. He did hold it there. I didn't say what it was. I just said, just observe.
Yes.
And it wasn't even a minute. And he looked at me. He said, oh, what's that? Yes. Where can I get it? And it was gone. I said, well, it's even better than an aspirin or anything else. And it happens so often. So usually I have one in my handbag. I have the pendant usually hanging around, and you know, I usually just smile because, you know, it keeps confirming wherever I am, people have pain or whatever, and they don't need to know. It just happens, and it's lovely. So I'm so happy.
That's nice. And it's also a very nice report of the portals, because again, the portals are not so famous as the other one. Exactly. Wonderful. And it's a very nice way. I love it. Not to tell the people anything, but just hold it there touch it and see what's happening. That's very nice. Thank you.
Actually, a friend of mine, what she's done, she was just making little purses, you know, for each portal.
Wonderful.
You know, different ones, and I just love it, and it's so much love and so much caring, you know.
Oh, what a wonderful idea. Oh, greetings to your friend. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Unfortunately, she is no longer. She passed away just recently, but
so we
she was
and send her our gracious thank yous.
Yes.
Wonderful. Very nice.
So you know, I'm so grateful, and you know, here they are, just for everybody to see.
Beautiful.
And you can take it out.
Oh,
you see.
Wonderful. Yes.
Because the thing is with those portals, they look very much like a coin. And actually, I have a story to say. And I've given it to somebody. I lent it to somebody and they lost it. So the other day I was in my car and there was coins laying around. And I thought, okay, let me put them in my bag. But there was something telling me, don't put it in the bag. So I kept it. I came to my house. I looked it up. And it was actually the Quantum-Touch portal. And it was something with it that it was not an ordinary coin. So usually I just keep them, but definitely they emit so much energy. So I'm so grateful.
Can you give this idea to Jennifer? I think that would be wonderful. Just give her the idea. Maybe they can do something with it, to produce some wonderful little bags for them. That's so wonderful,
you know, unique,
and that way they don't look too ordinary, because I was a bit disappointed how they look when you're used to the wonderful pendant, how it looks like. And
I've got this is the Costa Rica pendant.
Yes. Okay.
You know, and obviously this one you cannot mistake it for an ordinary one, but all the ones, you know, from the energy portals. So, you know, definitely, yeah.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bianca, for everything you transmitted to us. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.